Hi, I'm a soft skills trainer from the Department of Career Planning and Development, and in this particular session, you are going to be learning about difference between future indefinite and future continuous tense. Okay, so let's see what all we have. Now, before going in with the difference between the future indefinite and the future continuous tense, let us first understand that what do we understand by the future tense. Now, future tense expresses a future event or future state of being. So it is something that is not happening right now, neither something that has happened in the past. It is something altogether about what is going to happen in the future. Okay, now for example, I will jump in the lake. So this is a future event that is described by the sentence that he or she is going to jump in the lake. So that is the future event that person is talking about. And next sentence is I will be happy. So this is going to be the state of being, how I'm going to be feeling. So that is talked about over here in this particular example, that I will be happy. Over there they're talking about the situation, but over here in the next example they're talking about that how that person is going to be feeling. Okay, now future tense is divided into four different parts. It is characterized into four different part according to the action and the verb in the progress. So basically it is divided into simple future tense, future progressive, future perfect, and then future perfect progressive tense. Okay, so let's go and discuss what exactly is future indefinite tense. Now, future indefinite tense indicates that an action or an occurrence that hasn't happened yet and will take place at some point in the future. So something, as I've already told you, that future tense is all going to be about the things that hasn't happened yet, it is going to happen in the future. So then future indefinite, or it is also known as simple future tense, is something that is going to happen in the future. It has two parts in it. One is the future tense, which is also known as the helping or the auxiliary verb, that is will or to be, and the other part is going to be the main verb. Now the example over here is he will make an aeroplane. So will over here is the auxiliary verb and make is the main verb. So they are saying that the person is going to make an aeroplane in the future. Okay. Next is the structure of these sentences. So we have three different category of sentences. One is affirmative, that is positive in nature. Interrogative, which ask about a question. The question sentences are known as interrogative sentences. And then the negative one. So they are going to be telling no in the sentences. Okay. Now, the first affirmative sentences, the structure is going to be subject, helping verb, main verb plus object. So over here, example is Farah will complete her homework. So this is affirmative, that is going to happen positively. Okay, so Farah is the subject, will is the helping verb, complete is the main verb, and then the object that they are talking about. So this is affirmative sentence. Okay, he will do his homework. So then again it is he becomes the subject, will becomes the helping verb, do is become the main verb, and then her homework is the object. Next is the interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are going to be helping verb, subject, main verb, object, or it can be will. The example says, will Farah complete her homework? So this is a question mark, that the question in this sentence they're asking that whether it is going to happen or no. They are not confirmed about it. So then it is the interrogative sentence. And the last is the negative sentence, which we are there, no or not is going to be used. So the formation is subject, helping verb, not, main verb, and object. So Farah will not complete her homework. So this is something that is not going to happen. So this is in negative sense. So we had talked about affirmative, interrogative, and negative senses. Okay. Next is what are the uses? What are the conditions that where over there you use future indefinite tense? So the first one is it is used to express future as a fact. So something that is told that happens on daily basis. It is a fact, or even if it is not on happens on daily basis, but it's a fact. So that is going to be told in future. Like all the new selected candidates will be present at the session. So whether it is going to happen tomorrow or day after tomorrow or somewhere in the future, so it's a fact that all candidates, all the new candidates, whether they are in one in number or two in number, so then they are going to be present in the session. Okay, so this is about telling a fact. Another is that you have planned something for the future. The inaugural function will start with the prayer song and other programs will follow. So this is something planning that you have done. So he will travel to Paris in the month of May. So over right now, it is the month of April going on. So May is future. So then it is something that some plans have already been made. So planning is done in future tense. Next is official programs and timetables. So again, it is kind of a scheduling. It is kind of a planning that happen that takes place. So before the event or the program happens, or before the classes start, so the timetables are planned, they are proposed well enough in advance. So everything is talked about the future thing that are future events that are going to happen. Okay, the sentence is on Monday next that will commence training its third batch. So this is something that is going to happen in the future. And next is to predict. So prediction is always done about the future of a person or an object or an event. So prediction is also done in the future tenses, the future indefinite tense. Okay, now this is a table for you, a very interesting tab for you to understand, and the things that we had missed in the previous one. So over here it includes an express future as a fact that we have already done. Next, it talk about that the things that we think or believe will happen in the future. So some things that whenever we say that I think and I believe it is going to rain tomorrow, so this is something that on the basis of your knowledge or on the basis of your instinct you are telling that it is going to happen in the future. Next is something that the special cases, if you are discussing about the special case. So I'm going to sell this bike. So if I'm going to win a lottery, so then I will purchase a new car and I will sell this bike. So this is a special case. Next is the timetables and the schedules we had already done. And then it is something that future happening with clauses like if it is going to be like this, or till or until I will call you when he comes back. So then it is something that you are keeping as a conditional sentence, is that if it is going to happen like this, so I will do like this for you in the future. Okay, next is the last one is the special case in a way that it is a planned that personal arrangement, planned personal arrangement that I am leaving for Bangalore next week. So this is the planning that you have done for the future. Okay, next we are going to talk about the everything over here. We had discussed about the future indefinite tense. What is the formation, what is the structure, and then in all the three categories, the affirmative, interrogative, and negative, and then as well as we had discussed about the uses of the future indefinite tense. Now we are going to understand the concept of future continuous tense. Now future continuous or future progressive tense represents that action taking place at some point in the future. It is something that is going to happen in the some point of the future and is used to discuss an event that will happen in the future at a specific amount of time. Okay, so one thing that it is not happening right now, it is going to happen in the future, as well as the duration of that particular event is also mentioned in the future continuous tense. Again, it is made of two different parts. The future tense the form of verb to be, that is will be, plus ing is affixed to the base verb. Like for example, he will be making aeroplane. So then will be is the auxiliary verb over here, and the main verb, that is making, the make plus ing, making is used over here. Okay, now sentence structure. Now the affirmative, negative, and the interrogative. So the affirmative sentence structure is going to be subject, future tense of the verb to be, that is will be, base plus ing. Okay, she will be going to school by this time next week. So this is something that is going to happen in the future, in the next week. So she plus will be plus go ing plus to school. Okay, plus the object. Okay, next is the negative sentence, that is subject, future tense of to be, not and base plus ing, because we are talking about negative sentences, so not is also going to be there. So she will not be going to school by this time next week. Again, it is referring to an event that is going to take place in the future. So she's saying that she will not be going, because negative, so not. Next is the interrogative, that it is going to be posing a question. So will she be going? So the question is going to be starting with the will. Then the subject is going to be there, and then going, be, shall be, will she be going to school by this time next week. So this is the structure of the interrogative sentence. Next is, again, we are going to be understanding about the uses of the future continuous tense, that where are the special cases where use future continuous or the future progressive tense. One is project ourselves in some future time. Okay, so this is something that you are doing, you are projecting something that is going to be happening in the future. Yes, next week by this time we will be boarding the flight. So whenever we plan something or something has been planned, so then we start imagining that this is going to be happening at that time, or that is going to be happening at that time. So this is the future projection of the line of things. Okay, so the time frame, according to the time frame, we start projecting the things in the future. Next is to predict future events. So then it is but then the thing that you need to understand is we are going to be focusing on the duration as well. So we will be reaching the venue by late the same day. Okay, we will be reaching the venue. So this is future. Next is talk about the simultaneous events expected to happen. So two things when they're going to happen in the same time frame in the future, so they are also recognized by the tense of future continuous or the future progressive. How? Like example, while you will be presenting your work at the conference, so on one side, at one hand, you will be presenting your work, what you are going to be doing. I will be struggling with my project. So two different actions, two different events are going to take place simultaneously, parallelly in a parallel form in the future. Next is going to be the last uses. Talk about events already happened and expected that they continue to happen in the future as well. Okay, something hasn't happened, something that has happened in the past, it is going to, the history is going to repeat itself. So that is again said, the sentence is again framed in the future continuous tense, like I will be struggling with my project due for completion in the next one. So right yeah, in the last month I had struggled, I am struggling, and I will still be struggling in the future. This is something that the person is talking about, that this is going to happen again. Okay, now these are the uses of the future continuous tense. Now coming to the main part of this video is the difference between these two tenses. We had discussed in detail that what are these tenses, what are the specifications of all the three category of the sentences, and then what are the uses. Now we are clear with all the parts of these tenses. Now we can very easily understand the difference between these two tenses. Now the first, we are going to differentiate between these two tenses in three different parts, that is the basic, repeated actions, and the form and the structure. So in basic, difference is going to be that in the future, simple future tense, you just use it for to describe a fact, a decision, or a plan, or a timetable, okay, that you have prepared. Now in the on the other hand, in the future continuous, it talks about the time duration in which those events are going to happen. Okay, it is something that at a point is told in the future tense, the duration is mentioned in the future continuous tense. Next is repeated action. So it is the prediction of future, but then time is unspecified. We are not aware that at what it is going to happen in the future. We are clear about it, but at what point in future we are unclear. Okay, next, in the future continuous tense, we are clear in the time about the time frame, that because the time is always specified in the future continuous tense. Next is the form and the structure. So the form and the structure of the simple future tense is simple present tense form of verb along with the future tense of the helping verb. So she will do her homework. So this is something that is spoken in simple future tense. In the future continuous tense, so the main verb and then present participle form of the main verb plus the future tense of the helping verb. So she will be making aeroplane. So she will be doing her homework. So this is something that includes the will be as well as the ing form of the verb. Okay. Now these are the three major differences between simple present tense and present continuous tense. I hope you have understood everything about the future and all future tense, and to be more specific about these two tenses as well as the difference. Please practice these tenses. They are very important for you to understand. Thank you so much.